Reed Gussiora. Mayor, thank you so much for your time. How many buses have arrived in Trenton at this point, and is there anything you can do about it?
Well, on Saturday morning, I was informed that 4 buses between the hours of 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. dropped off 163 asylum seekers, all but 21 boarded trains bound for New York. Then again, last night, 5 additional buses with 215 migrants arrived at Trenton Transit, but all boarded trains bound for New York.
And so did some of those in the first group stay in Trenton?
They claimed that they had family members in Trenton and that they were on their way to those houses. Unfortunately, by the time we got there, no one was at the train station since they were in the middle of the night. So we have no way of verifying that at this point.
I guess it's fair to assume you didn't have any heads up about this.
No, and that's what's make it so difficult, and that it could be a humanitarian crisis and that they may have medical or food needs or shelter needs, but we have no ability or resources to house them or take care of them.
Some suburbs of Chicago have started to pass ordinances to restrict migrant drop-offs. Will you consider a similar push?
We would, but we'd like to do that in concert with other Northeast corridor towns. We don't want to plug up one hole and then just shove the problem onto a neighboring municipality. But I agree with Mayor Adams that buses shouldn't arrive only between the hours of 8:30 and 12. That way they can be dealt with city personnel, and they certainly should have at least 32 hours notice.
You mentioned some nearby cities in Edison, for example, where migrants have also arrived. The mayor there has vowed to charter a bus of his own to transport the migrants back to the southern border. Are you in support of that?
No, that uses people as pawns, and one wrong doesn't make a right. And I think what this calls for is that Congress really needs to get back to work and work on a bipartisan basis with the president and resolve this issue. This is a national crisis that has to be resolved by Congress, not by individual mayors sending back and forth buses of migrants.
Do you believe there is a crisis at the border, and what would you say should be done about it?
Absolutely. Well, I was in Washington in the 80s when, on a bipartisan basis, immigration reform was indeed passed, and it was signed into law by President Reagan. So it has been done, and it can be done. It's unfortunate that this Congress for the last year has had little productivity, but they really need to get back to work and work on this emergent issue.
You know, earlier in our conversation, you were saying that basically you don't have the items, the food, the housing to support the migrants who are coming in. And really, I guess in fairness, that's what the governors in some of those border states are saying. We don't have it either. So do you feel that it's the responsibility of all 50 states to shoulder the burden here?
Well, I think it is that we need to all work together. Sending somebody at 4 o'clock in the morning to dump on your doorstep is dealing with the problem. So we all need to work together, and the best party to do that is the National Congress.